Sunny days, hot and humid here in the Sunshine State. So I'm tuning in from Clearwater, Florida. Where are you calling in from? Join me today, this beautiful day. Happy Pride Day as well. Let me tell you that I love every single one of you, even if I kind of drop off and I'm not making posts every single day. Back in the days when we were doing Ridiculously Authentic together, there was a lot of stress and a lot of pressure to be every single day doing something, whether it be posting vlogs or posting photos or memes or just trying to keep up with our community. And so a lot has changed, obviously, and I'm sure that many of you have already figured that out. But as far as I'm concerned, my mission, my purpose in this life has never changed. I have always been here to serve in whatever capacity I am meant to serve. And so if there's something that you desire that I do, wish to see, any topics or subjects, please let me know. You can put it in the comments, you can send me a direct message. Whatever you want, I'm here to serve to the best and fullest of my capacity, my capability. It's been 2 years now since my first plant medicine. I went on a journey just before my mother passed in 2018. I had been very curious about trying ayahuasca. I had seen a video, maybe it was a spirit molecule or something else, and I just really wanted to see what is it I'm needing to heal within myself, physically, emotionally, mentally. I mean, I've been on the path of healing for many, many years, whether it be through yoga, meditation, workshops, self-help, self-healing. All of it I've done has been self-initiated. I don't take it lightly. I have the type of personality that I go in full gusto. I give it my all. I can be a little extreme in it, but I also learn that way to kind of back off too. So like the pendulum swings, for many who have followed me, we go from one extreme to another to recognize that contrast is where we learn. We wouldn't know what we liked without experiencing what we dislike. We wouldn't know comfort without knowing discomfort. So polarity is all about seeing when you're out of balance. When you seek comfort, you feel discomfort, you don't realize that they're out of balance. When you are neutral, when you're just in a space, you may catch it once in a while where you're like, wow. It's that 0 point we call, it's the shunya, it's the pause between the inhale and the exhale. It's the not needing to do, to be, to act, to think, to see, to say, or to even be engaged in any of our senses. We're all striving to be there. We don't even realize that's pretty much, we all have that desire to know what it feels like to be in stillness, to be in purity, to be in clarity, to just be in love and loved, and to be of love. That's our nature. There are no conditions, but yet in this human condition, everything is attached to condition, which in itself is fascinating. I was kind of having a dialogue with a friend, and we talk about unconditional love, but do you realize that even when you say unconditional, there's a condition attached to that? So if you can recognize that you're always striving to meet some alignment, some perfectionism, some conditions, you might not call them conditions, but they are. Like, we don't just choose things based on unconditionality. We choose them based on conditioning, based on our belief systems. Belief systems are conditioning. Social engineering is a conditioning. Everything you attach to that has an expectation causes suffering. It's because of a condition. We want to say, I want to just surrender and allow life to happen for me, show up to me. But it won't be until you notice that the conditions drop that you're really not worried about what it is that shows up to you and what it looks like and what it sounds like and how it tastes, or the feeling, the textures, all these different aspects. These are all those conditions. We are extrasensory beings. We are sensual beings, hence the 5 senses. I can already feel this conversation, this dialogue, this monologue that I'm about to go through is really more. It's so much more. Even the leaves are dropping on me. Would you get upset if a leaf dropped on you and you were like, oh, I was just in the middle of a thought and I lost it just because, something interrupted me? I'm okay with that. So over the course of several months, I've been having to work through emotions because I'm human and I know that I'm not the only one. And I want you to know it's healthy, it's human to own whatever comes up and not to fight it, resist it, reject it, or deny or suppress it. Because whatever's coming up for you, whether you talk about it or you try to ignore it, that's where the healing lies. That's the shadow work. That's the owning of the muck, the junk, the stuff, the crap that we typically don't want to be faced with. It's the lotus cannot bloom without coming up through the mud. So even we have to kind of rise above our own shit. It's all good. It's all perfect. It's all divine. And most of us figure it out long afterward, and we look back on experiences and things that we've been through in our past to go, wow, I can see where that served me, and it got me to where I'm at, and I'm in a much better place because of it. Like, I wouldn't change a thing. The shadow work, I'm telling you, it's the crap you don't want to face, but it's the stuff that gets you to your grace. It's what builds the into me I see, the owning of everything you are and ever have been. You can't expect to be loved as whole if you're not willing to embrace and reclaim those pieces of yourself. Because when you deny a small portion of yourself, an experience, a person, place, or thing that's had an impact on you, you deny your own healing. And that's a harm that you inflict upon yourself. And I have to do it for myself, and I have been doing it. I've had to sit with resentment. I've had to sit with true compassion and forgiveness. For myself first more than anything. Because nobody ever does anything to you. It's what we allow them to do because we ourselves have compromised. We have not set healthy boundaries. We don't even know what we want. So we just kind of let things come to us, and we don't see that really they're training us, it's teaching us, we're learning, we receive, we give, we go, ooh, that didn't feel so good, it didn't align. The only way to move with flow and grace, to ease into your life, is to have the courage and the willingness to show up to whatever shows up to you, and to not see it as something being done to you, but showing up for you. I really appreciate, I used to watch Joel Osteen for a lot of years, and I haven't watched him in a while, but he used to always say, and he probably still does, bless your enemies, because they're the ones that make you rise the highest. The people you think are tearing you down, really you're only tearing yourself down, but those are the people challenging you to see how much you are willing to take initiative, to self-initiate, to be motivated, to give you that inspiration. Believe it or not, your enemies are the ones who inspire you the most. They're typically the ones that give you that kick in the ass, the fire under you, that puts you where you need to go, where you've been wanting to go. And we can point a finger out and say, you did this to me, but those 3 fingers back are showing that you yourself are the one who started everything. It all begins with you. It all begins with self. patience with self, compassion with self, willingness to show up for yourself. It's all starting with you. And you cannot extend out to another what you're unwilling to do for yourself. And so if someone is showing up to you and they're showing you an unkind behavior, they're showing you how you yourself, they're mirroring back. What is it your internal dialogue is like? Are you yourself holding back, withholding love from you that causes others to show up and show you the same behavior? Because mirrors show you your truth in one way, shape, or another. And in many cases, if you've already learned the lesson, it'll show up to ask you, did you get it? Are you on board now? Can you let it go? Are you ready to move forward to the next one? Removing layers like an onion, unpeeling away, lightening your load, taking the weight off your shoulders. Whew, lighten up. Because the world needs you to be in your all, your glory, your gifts, the presence. Oh, baby, I'm telling you, it's in the releasing of the fear that you're going to feel the clarity of your heart. You know, sometimes you just gotta kind of like, hey, I surrender and I remove attachment to how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to show up to me. I've had to do that a lot over the years. And every time I do it, it's like, whew, okay, there's more to this. And it's maybe not, it's not time for this particular vision that I've had to come to fruition. But maybe I do need to look at other areas. And so I tap into myself when I sit in my meditation every day. I feel I'm getting my mojo back significantly more. The things that drop in, the insights that I glean, I have to do more videos because that's where I used to really be able to share more of what has been coming up from within me, and also tapping into the pulse of the collective. And I wanted to share that with all of you the other day because I was thinking about this. You know, a lot of people don't realize that you're so sensitive. We are sensitive beings. And you should not condemn yourself or even just apologize for being sensitive. Never apologize for being the sentient being you came and incarnated into this life to be. Because believe it or not, that's what your gift is that fact that you are sensitive, that you have the ability to feel, to see, to taste, to touch, to hear. All of that is a gift. Now, to incorporate it into a rich, fulfilling life, that is the key. And each one of us has even more gifts to unveil. The more we peel away the layers, the traumas, the resentments, the resistance to being, the more we can peel that all off and get to the heart, right? Because that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to the heart of the matter. We're trying to get back here. Most of us are so stuck up in here, we don't realize this is supposed to be the observer. It only sits above the heart to witness what the heart can express, can create, to make, to extend, because the arms are the extension of the heart and the lungs. So, tuning in to your own inner voice, if you feel emotions arising within you, erupting, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where this is coming from, take some time to sit with your breath. Tune in, like close your eyes, really make yourself comfortable. Take long, deep breaths. Inhale deep into your belly, your pelvic floor. Exhale out your mouth with a sigh. Listen to the sound of your own voice. Tune into your own heart. Notice the compassion for you first. That's the most important thing. And if something has been arising, ask it, is this mine? Or what part of it is about me that I need to tune into? Is there something I'm missing? Is there something I need to be attentive to when I go out, when I leave my house? That when I encounter another person, that they themselves may be experiencing. Because when we tap into the collective, the pulse of the universe, it can disrupt our own mind in such a way that we're really confused. And that's where we go, whoa, what's this all about? We're really like, some of us freak out about it. We think, wow, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm depressed, I'm anxious. All of these thoughts are coming up in my head and it doesn't feel normal, doesn't feel like myself. Consider that that's how sensitive we are. And especially in these times, we need one another. When we're distant, heart coherence, we need to connect on a heart level, heart to heart. That's why hugging is so important, to increase our happy hormones, the oxytocin that our bodies create. You know, to have 6 feet away from one another, that's interrupting that. All the different things that are being suggested are things that weaken the immune system of the human condition. So consider that. If you feel confident enough, you have friends, do what you need to do for you. Trust your inner knowing. Trust your inner heart and guidance system. Don't expect that the external world is going to take care of you, because really, when it boils down to it, we're in a time where people need to wake up to personal accountability and responsibility. And I know it's tough because there are things happening in the world that make you question your own judgment. You distrust. First, if you don't have trust for yourself, you're not going to trust anyone else. And if you're somebody who hasn't taken personal responsibility and been accountable for your own choices and where you're at in your life, you're going to find life is challenging right now. But if you have a good support network, community, and you can join in with good friends, family, whoever it is, you can reach out to myself as well. The most important thing is learning what and who to trust. But you've got to start with yourself first. So this heart coherence is so important. Tuning into what feels, not thinking, what feels right in your heart. What do you sense in your body? Start tuning in within. Don't lose yourself going without. Because power versus force, there's a huge difference between this internal power, this fire, this expression of yourself, than this force that's disguised as power. It's exhausting if you have to force or extend your will upon another, or to push yourself into something that doesn't feel right. If something angers you, ask yourself, what is that trying to tell me? What is it that the anger is showing me is misaligned within my body, my heart, my soul is just aching, it's screaming, it wants to, at the top of your lungs. There's always a message there. Emotions are messengers. They're there to help guide you. Simple things. Simple, but oh so difficult to adapt or to go back to trusting, because we started out very intuitive as young children. Children ask questions. You know why? Because they're curious. I'm still a curious child in an adult body. I will ask questions. And I want to know. So I will research. And if somebody tells me they think or they heard it or they're not sure, I want to know. So I dive deeper. I know for myself, if I don't know the answer to something, the best answer is to say, I don't know. Let me research that for you. Let's look this up together. Let's collaborate. Let's find out. Let's find out the truth. Let's not just rely upon what someone said. Let's look deeper into it. Because sometimes you find people are just repeating something from someone else, and you don't know how far back that repeating is going. You're losing the original root story. I mean, have you ever heard the story of how this client wanted a tree swing, and yet when it went through the channels and what it turned out to be? Have you ever seen that? It's the funniest thing. It's like what the client wanted and what ended up being the finished product was not anything like what was requested. You just got to go back. All right, so I have to keep cool because it is so freaking hot out here. This is one of my favorite drinks. I like the root beer version the best, but this is good because it has the guayusa and turmeric, and it has the reishi chaga and the turkey tail. Ooh, it's fizzy, but it's nice and cool and refreshing. Keep it cool, people. So, going back to all of this, there's a lot going on in the world, and the most important thing I could ever say to anybody is make sure you're meditating every day. Make sure you're breathing, doing some breath work, because you need to strengthen the oxygen in your blood, boosting your immune system, keep your stress levels reduced, because the thing is, there's plenty of stuff to take you out of your peace. Stay off of mainstream media. If you can stay off of social media, even better, because there's a lot of stuff that'll pull you out of your peace. And it all depends on how your mind works. I myself can tell you that if I'm looking for something to combat, if I'm in a mindset already of where I'm upset with one thing, I guarantee I'm going to find it over here. Why? Because the mind has a tendency to get on that crazy train, and then it's already fired up. And I'm a Leo, so I'm a fire sign as it is. If I'm pissed off about one thing, I can find out a million things to get pissed off about. And they probably have nothing to do with one another. That's why I meditate. That's why I sit on my mat. And yes, I'm human, and it happens all the time. I will tell you right now, I have trouble breathing with those masks on, so I am pulling my card, American Disabilities Act. I'm just saying, if you have a disability, you have breathing issues, please make sure to take care of yourself first, and don't just fall prey to feeling guilted into wearing something that will harm your health. You're not being forced to wear a mask. If anything, if you need it, please wear it. But I want you to remember, the mask is for people who aren't healthy. If you are healthy and you have difficulty breathing as it is, the mask is only going to harm you more. And you know that when you put it on. I feel like I'm suffocating, and it also pisses me off. Because I personally, for me, this is my sharing my personal experience, I get really angered because to me it feels like freedom of expression is just being silenced and censored. This is what it feels like to me. And if I can't speak to you and you can't see my facial expressions, it's creating more distrust. Oh, that birdie. Hi there. Wow, you're so sweet. This bird is just doing the most beautiful. It almost looks like bat wings. It's doing a dance. I've never seen this before. Oh, I see you, pretty bird. You are just so pretty. Oh, thank you for showing up. I don't know who you're dancing for, but it's quite divine. Oh, that is the sweetest. I think about the bird was trying to remind me. It's a blue jay. I think it's a female. I could be wrong. It's just doing like all of its wings, the wing feathers, like individually creating this. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. That's nature trying to remind me that, we always have a choice. We can choose to get upset, or we can take a deep breath and to reel ourselves back in and go, you know what? I'm not looking for conflict. I'm not looking to start a war, to have an argument. So I don't go out in public very often, especially because I don't feel it's necessary. If I need to go buy something, I will go get it. But I limit my time in those environments because I just don't see the need. And I'm not trying to create conflict. I'm not looking to have an altercation. If someone feels uncomfortable, then they shouldn't be out in public either. So I just keep it simple. Because I think it's very important that you choose your peace. You choose what makes you feel good. Go where you're welcomed, not where you're threatened or feel vulnerable or attacked or anything like that. That is always a choice. Nature's always welcoming us to come out and play in the sun, go to the beach, get in the water, boost your immune system with vitamin D, get in the sea, the elements. You need all the elements. Again, these are all part of our human condition and physicality. And it's a gift, it's a blessing. And the question to be is, are you living, or are you just habitually moving through life, just going through motions? Because the most important thing I think most of us have learned through all of this experience of what are your priorities? What's important to you? What in this life are you wanting to experience more of? Did you come here to serve, to be served? And there's nothing wrong with that. I want you to just be clear with yourself about it. Don't deny yourself what you feel. You don't have to go shouting off and... Some people say you don't need to over-volunteer too much information. My dad used to say that I volunteered too much information when I was younger, and I can admit I saw myself doing it when I was in the Air Force. And certain people will take what you volunteer about yourself and turn it around, twist it, use it against you. But that's learning to discern the true people in your life that deserve to know whatever it is you're giving them information on. So that's important, and you need to know yourself better than anyone else. But that's what we do as humans, is we kind of test the waters out. And we'll put ourselves out there, and then we pull ourselves back. It's that expanding or contracting at all times, right? So at all times, we're always expanding or contracting. We're never really just in between. So sometimes we go within. We need to nurture ourselves. We need to recalibrate, reclaim, recognize, remember, receive. And then at other times we need to expand, to give, to express, to share what we've gleaned when we were in contraction. So this is always happening. It's noticing, where are you at? Are you in the contraction or are you in the expansion? Right this moment, I can tell you I'm a little bit more expansive, but before I was very contracted. I was wondering, wow, why am I resisting? What's taking me so long to do this live video? I've been wanting to come live for a few hours. I just was feeling in the timing. And I was like, wow, okay, something's going on here. I'm good. And we got to kind of work through our stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But I've got a lot of things I'm going to be doing, and I really want to share that. I want to build community. I want to put the unity back in community because that's what's important to me. I want to move away from red tape and restriction. All my years of being in the military, being in government environments, always about following the rules. And now we got people doing the work of policing each other, which I think is unnecessary. You know what? Let people be people. If they're not hurting or harming anyone else, let them be. Because you certainly don't want someone coming running after you looking for something to tag you on or to police over you or tell you how to live your life. I mean, essentially, we all just want to live our lives in joy. But remembering that when you numb the pain, you numb the joy too. So if you are somebody still working on your healing and you have to seek external ways to feel joy, then you have to look at where you've numbed your pain. Because when you have to seek external stuff to bring in joy, to bring in that sensation of feeling, it's typically because you've numbed yourself in some painful experience. And sometimes we have to sit in that muck. You got to sit in that crap. Like I just said, the lotus flower comes up from the mud. So you got to sit in your own shit to find the joy. In the discomfort is your comfort. In the dis-ease is your ease. It's just, sometimes we have to swing on the pendulum to find it. We got to find our ways. So, I'm going to be starting a fundraiser. And the fundraiser is not necessarily for money. It's not just for money. I really am seeking people in the local community. So if you know anybody, you're in Clearwater, Tampa Bay, St. Pete area, you're around here. Number one, every Sunday morning, I'm trying to hold yoga classes here at my home, 9 a.m. You can reach out to me, pay what you can, buy donation-based yoga. And the thing is, I'm really seeking people who have gifts, resources, supplies, talents, gifts in helping support renovating the Love Shack. Okay? For years, some of you have been following, you know that I have this second building in the back of the house. We called it the Love Shack. And this is about bringing together this rainbow community. This is my vision. We're going to try to create and expand for food forest utopia here in the yard, as well as space to grow not just food but also the community, and bringing together for celebration and dance and workshops and whatever we can hold here to bring people back together. So the back building needs a lot of work. So that's my focus at the moment, is trying to find ways to, I have to replace windows, I have to put out the rest of the pavers, I need to replace boards, porches, so I need wood for the porch. So the windows, the floors need to be redone in the Love Shack. There's a lot of work that needs to go on. But I also trust that if it's not in a monetary form, see, abundance isn't just money, people. Abundance to me is resourcefulness. And so whatever I can generate, I can manifest, pull in energetically, that's important to me. Is the right people doing the right things to work together to build, again, this unity and community. This resolving evolution. I did a video a while back. It's all about the love, reEvOlve-Soul-lution. We're creating. We have an opportunity here, people, to create what it is we've always desired. To not just stay stuck in the old ways of doing things. I'm sorry, but that clearly wasn't working. It is time for us to truly build upon all of this knowledge, all these experiences that we've amassed. Each one of us has had enough experiences in our lives to know what wasn't working. And guess what? Focus on what you want to work, not what didn't work. Because where attention goes, energy flows. So if something wasn't working, don't get stuck there. Move away from it. Step away from the fire. You know, that is where we have gotten caught. Whether someone pulls a racism card, which is a problem, but you know where the problem is? It's in the system. It's systemic racism. It's not individual. Don't get caught up in thinking, oh my gosh, am I racist? Only you know in your heart and soul, your true knowingness, your being, whether or not that is something you have to worry about, or whether or not you have been that has been a problem in your life. The truth is the system has been set up to keep us divided. And that's where we are here to recreate, to restore the order, to evolve, to come together. Because you have a gift and I have a gift, and we're here to be one. We're here to unify humanity, to rebirth it, to reclaim our humanness, being, love, enjoy, to create. We created all of this. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, we created all of this for ourselves. We just got caught up in the idea that somebody else was running the show. And the truth is, we have the power. Because united, together, we stand. Divided is when people fall. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want to see anybody fail. I want to see everybody living in joy, in abundance. I want to see more vibrancy in life. And I'm here to pull you up, to uplift you in whatever way I can. That is my mission. That has always been my path. It's always been about divinity. It's been about unity. It's been divine union. And it always starts with yourself to source. So if you are somebody in the Clearwater, St. Pete, Tampa area, you know anybody here, please share. I'm going to create the fundraiser later on. I'll put a picture up and I'll explain a little bit more. But again, it's always about resources. Because the closer I get to getting this taken care of, the more I can bring in other people from other areas, creating that space. You can put tents on my property too. I mean, that is a possibility as well. Because I want everybody to be healed and happy and whole. It's always been my mission. I've always felt that since I was a little girl. And I am going to create services, and I do apologize that I haven't done it sooner, because I know there's a lot of people who need support in a way that is a little bit more structured than just saying I need your videos, or I need this, or I need that. Because I know I have the time, I have the gifts and the talents to support you in wherever you're at in your life, and reach out to me because I'm here for you. I love you all so very much. Again, spread the love on the share button. If you need anything, reach out, reach up, reach within. Go within first and foremost, because you matter, we all matter. The truth is, we're all going to be fine. We're all getting through this. We're just finding the way that it works best for us, and not the way it's been dictated. Down with the dictatorship, and up with the unity. Because guess what? We get to choose. We always have been able to choose. And now it's our time to shine. So I'm here to illuminate you, just like you're illuminating me. I love you very, very much. Let me know if there's anything I can do. And remember, stay true to you.